Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Queen of Pain.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick.
The Undying wakes.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Imber Spirit.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Night Stalker.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Takira.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Razor.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining.
Huh.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Meatball!
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining.
Earth Shaker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yes, everyone, welcome to Liquid vs. Monkey, game number 1 of this best of 3. This is Blitz. Hello. He is in control of this show. I'm going to sit back here and just enjoy the fire.
Honestly, it's just so great to cast with the best caster at Join Dota. You've casted so many finals. I really feel like ESL New York, it could have been a better event if you were casting the finals. I mean, I just had no idea what my co-caster was doing at all times. Like, I understand that we're, a pair, but, like, Join Dota should use us as a pair more as events instead of me plus, the charity case.
I agree.
Did Cap win like a fan contest or something? Did he have like some sort of Make-A-Wish thing where he wanted to be a relevant caster for a week?
He slept with Hotbit. That's how we got the ESL Grand Finals.
I don't even think that would do it. It was probably blackmail. It had to be like,
you don't know how good Cap is.
Does he have nude pictures of all of you guys that joined Dota? I just don't get it.
Not me. Let's go to the game, huh?
I'd like to give a shout out though to my good buddy Shane on the couch for doing a really good job on the couch. It was very good.
Did you really ask for a shout out?
No, this is what we do for each other. We just understand.
Beautiful. beautiful.
All right, all memes aside,
it would have been slightly self-serving.
We're only doing this, by the way, for people that are complaining that we're not, the game is paused.
Yes, the game is
just having fun a little bit.
Yet.
We will only cast the game once we're inside. I'm just getting it all out of my system right now.
That's good. So we could focus on what is coming our way, which is, like, we can't even say it's unusual. Like we're not at the point where we say, you know what, no-tail Meepo is not a usual thing. Like, it's... Like, he's been playing more and more melee heroes in that mid. It just makes sense that Meepo would finally come back in for him.
I mean, this is a really big match. This will determine... I think it's the top 2 from this event will go to the major,
yes,
right?
Correct.
And if you win this best of 3, then you're guaranteed a top 2 position?
No, you're guaranteed a top 3 position if you win this. So this is the... it's a standard double elimination bracket. So the winners of this will play up against the winners of Alliance versus NIP.
Oh, and then the
winner of that game is the first team, which is the first game tomorrow, will be the first team to go to the major. So both teams have decided that we'll go to the majors tomorrow. In fact, 3 out of the 4 regions will know by the end of tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, Toby, I think that Monkey is a slight underdog here. I feel like Liquid have been playing insane Dota. Like,
it's kind of funny you said it when Monkey's had such a huge run as well. I know they had a couple of like hurdles recently, but
I don't think Liquid has lost a match in the new patch.
Yeah, they also had a...
Yeah, that's an okay start.
Maybe Liquid's a better runner.
I just think that I think this is going to be an incredibly close game. The last time they played, like Shane brought up, was the Nanyang qualifiers, I think, where Liquid, when they were under their old team named 5 Youngs, I think they won 2-0, if I remember correctly. And Shane's giving me the thumbs up. What a great guy. And that is, I think, a result that might happen again. I feel like Liquid is slightly advantaged here, but I mean, Monkey's a really good team.
Monkeys also have a really great lineup where if a couple of things go right for them, there's going to be a lot of things to keep going right for them. Like, if Meepo starts getting momentum, their team fight looks really strong as well. If the Ember Spirit is able to freely move across the map, what has Liquid really got against that? Like, it's... Like, the static link I'm not seeing really being a huge part of this fight. So how is Liquid meant to get the upper hand and then finish the game against Monkeys?
I mean, they have a lineup that, when it comes to team fight, is absolutely insane. You've got an Earthshaker that can set up for pretty much every single ability that Liquid have. Fada has just been playing the Ember Spear, or the Razor, quite a bit. And any hero that can do sustained damage is always going to be good against Meepo. Mm-hmm. I sort of agree. If Liquid get behind early, they're going to be incredibly hard-pressed to take down the Ember Spirit. Like, I feel like that is the hero that has the highest potential to snowball out of control.
Really? More than the Meepo?
I mean, I think they have a lot of different ways to deal with the Meepo. You've got the Earthshaker, obviously, is the main one. The Queen of Pain is pretty decent at dealing with it, too. And
yeah,
there is a lot of burst damage. I guess the main... Like, for me, though, it's the Ember, just because of the mobility of that hero.
Yeah.
If you get behind early, it's like Earthshaker and Bane. Those aren't ideal.
I'd also be worried, like, if with everything you're talking about, like, not all of what you're talking about was stuns. Like, a lot of it is that nuke damage, which is also there. So, what happens if you throw all of this at the Meepo, and then the Ember's free to move wherever he wants to? If that Meepo actually gets a little bit of momentum, he can soak up a lot of Liquid's control factors.
No, I agree. I think that's a really good point, because whenever you think of lineups with 2 heroes that you absolutely have to lock down, in the Ember and the Meepo, you have to think, how do you do both at the same time? Mm-hmm. I think the Earthshaker is one of the better ways to deal with it, but at the same time, you're correct in that the cores from Liquid are kind of going to get kited a lot.
And do you also then make sure this Bane moves into a very raw 5th position to make sure the Earthshaker is capable of getting that Blink Dagger?
I think the Earthshaker will naturally just get the Blink Dagger anyways, but that's most likely going to be the case. In any case, I think that the reason why we're seeing Matumba Man play the Queen of Pain is because I think that they assume that Monkey Business will send the Meepo mid, and we saw at ESL New York, like Zaire pointed out, when it was No One versus Weeha. I think No One's an excellent mid player, but that was like an absolute like crushing in terms of one-on-one matchups. Like, the Queen of Pain struggled so hard against the Meepo.
So they try and at least dodge that by throwing the Razor in up against the Meepo. I suppose if you are looking for someone that's going to survive, what kind of skill build are we looking for from the Razor too? Does even the static link's not going to be that much of a problem to get it off against the Meepo, because there's no like reposition ability. But do you go for high points up in Plasma Field? Do you go for harassment? Is it worth getting early points up in Unstable Current?
I don't think you have to have the Unstable Current first. And when it comes to the mobility of the Meepo, I mean, if he gets static link, he could just poof to another Meepo. That Ember Spear would have actually been so good on Liquid's lineup. That's the one thing they have going for them, is that once they grab BKBs, Monkey Business's lineup is actually going to get a lot weaker. And that's what I'm kind of looking for, is the BKB timings of all the heroes. Like, I'd imagine that Fada decides to go for either like mech into BKB or like S and Y into BKB. It seems like he really likes the S and Y. But I think against when you're playing against a Meepo and an Ember and all that, and you're trying to get into a 5-man,
he's going to need that mech.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no one else on his team that would take it. Like, you're running a safe lane Queen of Pain. Matubberman is most definitely not buying into a mech, and neither will the Night Stalker. But Fada, well, there's your dual breath, nice and buffed up early on, and also getting decayed up a little bit too. So a 2 support movement into the mid lane, just to make life very difficult for this Razor.
You sort of have to, because Razor, if left unchecked, one-on-one against an Ember Spirit, it's one of the worst matchups that you could possibly have. Like, the Ember Spirit is got really good move speed, but at the same time, the damage reduction really hurts him, because you can't really use abilities as an Ember Spirit to farm. Like, it's not efficient at all.
Yeah. This top lane is also going to be a little bit of fun for No-Tail. So he's up against Mind Control. Early on, Night Stalker's not really the strongest of all heroes, and Crit's going to come over. He doesn't have the Liquid Fire, so he's a pure dual breath, and No-Tail is level 2 now, but he hasn't leveled up Earthbind or Geostrike, so there's no options for him to work with there, at least for now. He's waiting for the right time for it all. But is there actually enough kill potential to kill off Mind Control with just these 2 guys, without the Liquid Fire, of course?
I think your Meepo just has to get levels, and Mind Control is going to get a decent amount out of this lane, just because Crit, yeah, the Liquid Fire, I think most people don't skill it early. Like, the dual breath does more damage, and it's easier to zone when you're a solo support anyways. Like, the cooldown is so long.
They're going for Fly. The search away from Mumian is going to get him away to safety, but having both Shadow Strike and Kuro ready for another Brain Zap was just a little bit too dangerous. Now it's top lane, the dual breath, the Mind Control, and he will actually level up Earthblind, and Mind Control's in a lot of trouble. He's going to get poofed down. It's only a level 1. Okay, now the Meepo just hit level 3. The extra control, and the poof will arrive, and that is first blood going the way of the Meepo.
Yeah, once he hit level 2, they immediately decided to go for him, and Mind Control had a decision to make there. I think he actually could have just ran straight down, but felt that he was going to get sandwiched. In any event, he has to be a little bit more careful about those timings, because double Meepo, that's almost always going to kill you, and that's why you get that early level of dual breath. The damage from it is actually a lot higher than you'd expect.
Yep. Alright, so Fada, he's actually burned through every consumable he's got, and only now just gets the bottle 2.5 minutes in. So the courier will bring that out to him, but Miracle's had himself a fairly decent time in the middle lane too, 10 for 1.
Yeah, he's doing really well considering the matchup, and that's just because of the amount of help that he had early on. The Ember was able to get some control out of the lane, and Fada wasn't able to establish that early static link tempo.
Yep.
But he
didn't really have any kind of big influence. Like Jirax, the Searching is still only level 1. These rotations from him haven't really worked. Like a Fissure on bottom lane, you were still able to surge away the Undying, so Fly was able to get himself that to safety. So I'm wondering exactly when I start feeling Jirax's presence in this game.
I mean, for me, he kind of feels like a slow starter in general as a player.
Okay, this is one way to do it.
Opportunities, and mid lane,
oh, that haste rune gives him the movement speed to stay in front of the wave.
Oh, I don't even think it was that. It just felt like Fada misfired that. That potentially could have been a kill.
It was almost like Fada didn't know that Jirax was coming in like that, because he was a long way back in the lane too.
I think he knew, but it was the combination of the haste rune and also the fact it looked like he was trying to min-max it. Like he ran to the very edge of it, and that probably would have done the trick, but you were right in saying the haste rune was why he was able to survive there.
Yeah. And No-Tail's now going to start to flash farm as this Meepo. It's just going to be so difficult to control him. There's also going to be stacks going to start to be prepared inside the dire jungle, and already Liquid are trying to do something about it. You hit the first nighttime, they instantly try and gank on Miracle, but he's got the flame guard up. Fada's too far away from this Ember Spirit, and they're doing this before he's level 6 at least, so they have some kind of chance to succeed with this. And with the flame guard about to time out, Mind Control, he goes again. The Miracle's in a very, very defensive position. They just can't find that opening they want. I suppose, where else do you go? Like, what else can you gank at this point?
It just feels like it's a little bit forced. Like, they assume that Miracle would eventually play up, but this is such a safe player in general. Like, he understands that it's nighttime. The Night Stalker can't go to the jungle. Like, where else is he going to be? He's not stacking. He's not farming stacks. He's not going to go to the bottom lane. I think that takes up a little bit too much of his time. He has to be going mid. It's just a basic process of elimination. But it might not matter.
Applies the field damage, just not enough. One attack, though, from Razor will be able to reach him. And the illusions on the front line as well, and that is going to be the Ember Spirit taking a fall. And he stuck around. He made the choice to battle farther there. It wasn't after you actually say like he's such a defensive player, or playing it defensive, he gets very over aggressive on the Razor.
Yeah, he had to have known that it was more just the fact that he saw the Night Stalker rotate to top, and so he thinks to himself, I should probably I can do battle here, but he has to know that the Earthshaker is one of those mobile heroes.
Jirax, this is the impression I was waiting for. It's going to be a double fissure with no ability to surge out. It's the perfect block, and you actually try and keep Moon Meander alive by soul ripping him up, but they'll end up losing 2 players on this bottom lane. Fly has no way to survive it, even with the stick charges. And Liquid, what a great rotation. They end up with having almost 5 heroes on the bottom lane, but they completely crushed the offlane here of Monkeys.
You had to do that at some point, because the Queen of Pain wasn't getting as much as you wanted her to, especially considering the Meepo already has a pretty insane amount right now with the jungle stacks, but still 43 CS, no joke.
It's too easy for him.
Yeah.
And when you start getting more Meepos as well, No-Tail's going to get really, really scary, because he's also getting the safe lane farm, which means early Blink Daggers, early abilities to just be aggressive is available from No-Tail. And actually, do you even want to look for that? Do you actually want to see No-Tail going for something more defensive, like he actually works towards the Aghanim Scepter before he goes for the aggressive Blink?
Yeah, I think that's the standard build that you're going to go for anyways.
Miracle, Plasma Field, the Tombstone will be dropped and Fly. You'll make it very difficult for Fido. He's still 66 points of damage, but Moon Meander with an Iron Shell, standing on the front lines, realizing that is actually Matopperman's Queen of Pain. Doesn't want to stay too close, and Matopperman actually being well, actually a problem of his own mana pool. Has Sonic Wave available, but just no mana to use it.
If he had that up, that could have conceivably been just a double kill for him right off the bat. Unfortunately, that isn't the case, but Fada's still getting pretty aggressive here, and Miracle has to be careful. Flame Guard's still on cooldown, but he's just going to make the jump back. He's got a Fire Remnant in the mid lane already, so he's well prepped for this, but yeah, that top lane, the Meepo is 1200 gold now ahead of the Queen of Pain.
At least they can go now on the Jakiro, and Crit instantly TP's out. He understands Mind Control's got no more stun, and just goes for it. While the Darks see a huge amount of farm from the stack, so it's burst leveling for Moon.
Radiant's top tower has been
Monkeys, even though like they obviously had the bottom lane go wrong, they're doing a lot to just catch back up again, or at least I should say maintain an advantage, which they do have. Very small, but it's there.
Yeah, they're being just more efficient overall on the map right now. Like, they're farming out the stacks. They're playing this defensive style. They're forcing Liquid to kind of rotate and force the map movements around the map. Like, even with the score being 3-1, you're seeing the net worth advantage being in favor of Monkey, just because they're being more efficient about clearing the stacks out. And they're getting so much out of the laning phase right now, especially when it comes to the Meepo. Like, the Meepo is so far ahead of everybody at just 8 minutes into the game. This is something you expect, but at the same time we talked about the lack of control that Liquid have.
Top lane going on Mind Control. Kuro's going to be here, controlling at the Meepo, but there's another Earthbind to keep Mind Control in position. The Darkseer, well, that's a very early wall. Doesn't actually get a copy of it.
They're going to go for the kill on Moon.
Well, maybe they can. Moon is very, very low, running forward, and Kuro just beating him down. That last attack will do the job, but No-Tail's already managed to find the kill on the Night Stalker, so I suppose in one way it works.
The Ion Shell
and
too.
Yeah, with the Iron Shell, it burns through Kuro. The Fish will buy a little bit of space, and No-Tail's got nothing more to run with. He actually switches to his other Meepo. The Meepo doesn't actually have the intelligence, I say the intelligence, the mana pool in order to cast another Poof or Net. So they are capable of getting Kuro out to safety.
Still, that was so well done by Liquid. They baited out the fact that Kuro still had the Brain Sap available, and they waited till the last possible second. Like, Moon Meander's probably thinking in his head, oh, if he had that ability up, he would have used it by now. Yep, but they just waited out and kind of get the outplay off on him. And that's a decent trade, I think, especially since your Bane got away. You essentially got experience on 2 heroes, and you almost have the urn completed now on the Night Stalker too.
No. You still have that concern though that Meepo was again the other hero who found the kill. Like, Monkey has 2 kills to their name, and both of them are gone the way of the Meepo in what was practically solo.
Yeah, that's really going to cause you concern. The decision now for Liquid is whether or not they're going to put more focus on this Meepo, or kind of just give him the space that he wants. You can't really afford a failed gank on this hero anymore.
Well, they're coming for it. They 3-man smoke. moving up into the dire jungle. Now Fly and Miracle are back behind the tier 1 tower, as they'll actually have a double disconnect coming out from Monkey.
Okay, so here's the... Well, that would make sense that it was those 2 players, because Fly and Moon are... I think that Fly's actually housing Moon right now. Like, Moon's in Europe,
okay,
if I remember correctly, but you're seeing the courier actually bring over both the items for the Meepo, and this is going to actually tip off Liquid and say, okay, they've already pinged it out. Like, if you notice that they have a ward in this mid lane, they actually pinged out the fact that the courier's coming, and what I think they should do is allow the courier to make its delivery.
That was actually going to be my question.
Just, like, follow it.
Like, when you got a point booster and an Ogre Club on the courier, can you try and go for both? I suppose they won't have the movement speed to keep up for both.
I think what you do is you follow the trail of the courier, and then that's 100% successful smoking, and then try to do it at the same time.
This can be so also welcoming. Like, that's 2.2k gold worth of items on the courier, taken away for the Meepo for a long time as well. Like, you delay him up. Interesting to see the choice that Liquid will make.
Yeah, and speaking of Meepos, you know who's a really good Meepo player here at the studio? My good friend Shane O'Mad. Like, this guy is one of the sickest Meepos in the world. Shane once said that every other Meepo pales in comparison to his, and that if he had the opportunity to play a TI5, he would have won it solo. Why are you looking at me like that? This is something that me and Shane have worked out. We're trying to give each other as much on-air time as possible.
You know, I know a really great guy called Capitalist who,
You mean that defective Chia Pet?
Who...
That's literally what his hair looks like. It looks like one of those Chia Pets you got and you forgot to water for a week. And you only got half of the head.
We should actually make that some merch. It was like when you, you grow the grass out through like a potato head kind of style. We just have like Cap with the perfect mohawk. Coming to a Dota 2 store.
Dude, I've got these jokes all day. Man, I've got them worked up in my head.
It's legit.
Defective Chia Pet is one of the better ones.
I tried Cap. I honestly tried, but the power of Blitz is too strong.
Yeah, when it comes to Flaming Cap, PhD in that. I won the TI5 of that one.
Oh, God. Alright, so... let's get it back to the game and back off flaming of everyone else.
We've had some time. We discussed everything that we need to. The only difference for me, the only thing I really want to talk about is the Queen of Pain's item choices.
Okay.
If you decide to go for the Orchid, it's good against a lot of these heroes, but you're not going to have anything to deal with the Meepo. Whereas if you go with the Aghanim Scepter, you can almost constantly fight the Meepo as a result. Like, the buffed up damage helps.
That's normally the way you deal with the Meepo, right? It's AoE damage and AoE control.
Yeah, exactly. You just hit him with the Sonic Wave, make sure that all of his Meepos are kind of weak, and then you just focus down the one you want to go for.
Well, I suppose you do have that too. Like when you think about the Dream Fight, if you got the Aghanim Scepter, they all drop low, and then the Bane and the Night Stalker just focus on one of those Meepos, because they've got some good nukage between the two of them as well as that silence control. I suppose you don't really have much more after that, or you have the Earthshaker Fissure.
Yeah, I think the Queen of Pain actually, no matter what you go for, you have to get a BKB second. Like the Meepo net plus the, what is it called? The Meepo net plus the Ember Spirit chains are way too strong against Queen of Pain. If she gets caught by any of those, you just instantly go down. And the Earthbind range, the thing is about playing Meepo that's so difficult is, you don't actually play against the hero a lot, so you never really understand how far the net range is. It just kind of hits you and just like, what the hell? Like, I was double the distance away.
You're talking about so many items though for a Queen of Pain. Like you want to have a BKB on her, you want to have like an early Orchid for ganking kind of style. They attack the courier. They end up just killing the courier. So Fada and Girex just went for it. And
damn,
now,
guys, come on.
Let's
go for the kill too.
Notel is just gonna TP him. One of his Meepos out for now. Left one inside the lane, and yeah, they can't find the kill.
Yeah, Liquid have to know that if they go for the courier there, it's pretty much one or the other. I'm okay with that decision though. You slow down the Meepo's timings by a full 3 minutes, and that Aghanim's timing on the Meepo is so critical that I actually think it's perfectly okay. Like, I actually think as an analyst I was just completely wrong there. Like being able to slow down half of his ags at 10 minutes is pretty huge.
But he's still going to get like the full ags at the end of that 3 minutes.
Yeah, they have to make use of this timing right now for sure.
Yep. But it's a town trade-off. With Jakiro, he's actually practically solo pushing. The other boys doing the creep skip. But Chris taking out that tier 1 tower with just level 3 liquid fire. And then they move as quick as they can. A smoke move by Monkey. They come in behind for the tier 1 tower. They've already got a Dire Observer Ward down. Now, the vision is terrible.
Liquid think this is going to be a straight trade.
Now it's a lot better. Like, we
either.
just hit daytime, and Jirax, the Spirit Jump from Miracle, actually dodges the Fissure. He has more than enough damage to kill up that Earthshaker, and then the Ice Path from Crit, controlling up Mind Control. So Miracle jumps with his last little bit of a Spirit to get in range of that Night Stalker. So it's a double kill for Miracle. Kura controlled by the Earthbind. It is a 3-for-1 trade-off, where it is just the sacrificial Jakiro. And it's just so much. It's so much coming in the way of Monkeys, because now they can actually push in for another tier 1 tower if they feel the aggression's there.
Yeah, Liquid actually thought that was just going to be a straight 1-for-1 tower trade, but everybody from Monkey Business, they were willing to take that fight just because they had the superior positioning.
So they denied
Liquid.
They're not denying the tower.
They might have actually just forgotten about it, and
the ping came out. The ping came out from Fly. He was walking away from it. And now Jirax is just going to walk in range of the tower to get the last hit. And they fortify on him, as well as Fada. But they're not going to find anything. Like, Fly's moving back into the lane, and in fact, Fada? Okay, yeah, Fly's going to just think twice about running into the mid lane at least.
He just wanted to make it a little bit awkward for Liquid, but at the same time, Liquid just kind of got a free 200 gold there apiece. That's not something you always want to see, but the mech is completed now on the Darkseer, and now that Monkey, they've almost got the Aghanim Scepter, like in 400 gold, I think. And once No Tail has both of those items, I actually think they just kind of go for it. Like the Aghanim Scepter plus the mech, you're not going to have a much bigger power curve than that. And if you win 1 or 2 fights, then your Ember Spirit can catch up, because the Ember is still behind the other 2 cores.
Miracle jump. He's going to Spirit himself in, starts with the Flame Guard, and needs to get the Searing Chain to but missed the timing. And No Tail came in a little bit too close. He was probably considering just holding one Meatboat back so he can go for the Earthbind after the blink.
Something I want to point out is the Earthbind level 4 range is almost the same as the Queen of Pain's max blink range. Like, that's how absurd it is. You never really think about this hero like that.
So how's Queen of Pain meant to escape then? Like, you're talking about getting a BKB, but
it's hard. It's a straight, it's one of those counters. It honestly really is. That's why you saw Monkey Business take it. It's not one of those cheeky things where they're like, oh, we have a Meepo player. It's that the Queen of Pain can't really deal with that hero individually. And when it comes to team fights, if she gets caught by one net, she dies.
Mind Control step. The Ice Path from Crook should be able to connect, and then Miracle jumps through with the Ember Spirit. The Tombstone's a very, very long way out here, and it makes it difficult for Liquid to get rid of it. Mind Control is being chased down by the Undead. Kura doesn't help when he gets Earthbinded up, and they just keep him controlled. 2 heroes again falling for Team Liquid. And with a level 3, essentially still only level 3 Liquid Fire, about to be level 4, they can just beat down this tier 1 tower and not really take any forms of damage.
Yeah, they're doing so much right now. They're going to take this tier 2. There's no trades either because Liquid don't have the best split pushing lineup. We saw them resort to that a few days ago actually when they played against Alliance where they went for the Phantom Lancer one, but you're seeing the beauty of the picks right now for Monkey Business in effect because they had to use the Queen of Pain instead of a mid. They had to use her as the safe lane. She doesn't have the farm that she needs either. And you've got this Razor mid that when it comes to team fights, yeah, he's incredibly strong, but when it comes to straight split pushes, you're not nearly as quick as, say, a Phantom Lancer.
Yeah. And he actually is building for team fight too. Like, he's going directly for the SMY and bypass the mech. I say going for the team fight purely selfishly for, like, there's no mech, which is very unusual for a player like Fada who really enjoys going for that mech as a mid solo. But Monkeys, now they move over towards Roshan. It's a level 12 Meepo already. It's like, how do you even stop? You can't stop them from doing this, can you?
No, this is incredibly hard for Liquid to take the fight. Fada doesn't have mana either, so what they're making the call for is, let's just take the tier 2 at top. This is probably the most common trade-off in Dota when you're on the Radiant side. You give the Dire side Roshan, immediately take the tier 2 tower top.
They're looking for a kill on crit. They get the fissure, so this should be possible, but Roshan's already taken. He turns for the Liquid Fire, so both Mentopperman as well as Mind Control getting slowed up for this. And with an Aegis the Immortal on the back of a Meepo, you're basically given No-Tail a license to so aggressively push and buy even more space for Miracle. Your Tombstone is off cooldown. It's level 3, so Fly's not really the highest level in the map, but he creates the chaos, and then Moon Meander is the big teamfight support. The level 8 Darkseer who's already got a full mech.
The crazy part right now for me is that the Meepo has so much, but even with that, the Razor's only 1k behind him.
They're coming. They want to try and pincer Monkey, and actually, I think even, no, they're bailing out. They let it go. Mentopperman sees Moon Meander coming in, but
Radiant's
I think I've no chance. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that even with all of the advantages that they built up so far, the Razor's only 400 gold behind the Meepo, and so they've got a lot of different ways they can fight still. Like the Razor is still incredibly tanky, and once he gets something like a BKB, it's gonna be hard for Monkey to lock him down. But it's getting to that point that's gonna be really difficult right now for Liquid. Like you need BKBs on both your Queen of Pain and your Razor, especially your Queen of Pain. Like instead of going for that greedy Orchid into AC into Ags build or something like that, I think he instantly has to go for the BKB. And then just play the team fights around, and they can still do it. Like Liquid's not in a terrible position at all. It almost sounds like we're talking as if like Monkey's already got this game in the bag, or what can Liquid do? But it's only a 2k advantage.
I suppose I've got a little bit more concern, especially when Kuro. Okay, that burn does not help him. The Sleight of Fist is still on cooldown for the moment. It's only a level 1. There's now Miracle commits. No tell. He blinks himself up as well. Jirax is going to drop. And this is where my concern kind of kicks in, where I don't understand how Liquid, even when they are this tanky, can get the upper hand of a fight when Monkey can do so much damage so quickly. So you surge in an Iron Shelled No-Tal who goes under tier 4 towers to kill off a Night Stalker, taking minimal damage for this, and now they push the tier 3 towers. We're 17 minutes in, and Monkey are already in a position where they can take a mid-rax.
There were just a lot of mistakes there, like the Earthshaker and the Bane dying before either of the cores could get into rotation. Matumba Man doesn't have a TP either, so half of their heroes were pretty much just kind of left by themselves, and Jirax isn't level 6 either, so the Meepo isn't really threatened by too much. And Matumba Man has to be careful because the Meepo can just start throwing the nets out. And Miracle, he doesn't really want to commit. They're just going to get out, but that's still a range rax at 17 minutes, and Liquid are falling apart a little here. Like, they really shouldn't have lost either of the supports. Like, the Bane even had time to run out, but he was looking for a brain sap target. And he had to have known, like, Matumba Man was not going to come. He doesn't have a TP, he was doing his best to come back. But as soon as they lost 2 heroes, like, Fada was like, I'm not even going to bother. And he's got 3,100 gold, probably making sure that he has enough for a buyback. Like, this is the position that you're put in 18 minutes into a game where you have to start saving for buybacks.
And then you're still going to be worried about what Monkeys is going to do to you. Because you're running an Ember Spirit and a Meepo. Like, if you want 2 heroes who can be anywhere on the map, like, you just split push out, leave 1 defensive spirit behind. And that's what looks like was happening right now. Monkeys has pitched a tent in the mid lane of Liquid's side of the river. And then you just send the Meepos out to keep farming up. They can poof back in a moment. The Ember Spirit can farm out the lanes or farm up inside the jungle and then still be back for the fight. I'm just not seeing Monkeys being limited in any way by Liquid's draft, especially in their current position, and now they go again. The Iron Shell jump, Fada dead before the fight even really begins. The Ice Pass positioning again, perfect from Crit. Kuro nightmares himself up to buy a little bit of space, but they just take it off him, and he'll just pop in the middle of this too. You get the Orchid on Miracle, combined with the Sonic Wave, but that's not enough damage, and now No-Tail wants to go further. He didn't get the Meepos into the right position, but he's got the Blink of Falble, and there he goes again. This time locking down Matumba Man, the double Iron Shells on the Meepos as well, just burning through everyone. Another Ice Pass support. This is a firm foot to the rear end of the horse. Liquid are in a lot of trouble at the moment. Jirax will burn, and this will be a full team wipe in favor of Monkey. They will take out... Actually, they can even do double raxing right now if they want to, but there's no reason to risk it. They're all gonna... Like, all the Meepos are headed home. They regen up, and then they come back out to the 1 remaining Meepo on the front line. So then they can go again. It's a completely refreshed Meepo.
You do the same thing with the Ember Spear too, so Monkey is going to be pretty safe. You've got a mech coming up in 15 seconds too. No-Tail's Aegis, if I remember correctly, is about to burn out in a minute, but you're just seeing the strength of the Meepo right now. And you saw the
20
Razor.
seconds. 20 seconds.
He's still pretty tanky, but you saw how quickly he went down. Like, he needs a BKB.
Here they go. Yule Scepter up, takes Kuro out, that's Crit's Yule Scepter as well, and then the Ember Spirit goes further, but No-Tail poofing around. He almost wants to die at this point, which he will do so, but the Aegis is immortal. It's going to bring him back to life, and the real Meepo was back at the Rax area, so it's not even a good position for Liquid to try and get a counter kill. They go through, and there's your proof forward. No-Tail this time a little bit off target, and Matumba Man tries to punish it, but there's your Ice Path as well. The Ensnare is actually holding him in position too. Liquid Fire's burning through Matumba Man, combining up with the Macro Fire, combining up with the Flame Guard. There's just so much fire, tick damage, and then the burst damage as well. Monkeys take 2 sets of racks. They cannot take the 3rd because the tier 2 tower is still up, so they want to back up anyway. There's no reason to stick around for this one. They are so far ahead.
2 sets of racks down at 20 minutes into the game. No BKB in sight for the Queen of Pain. You have the Orchid, but you control 1 Meepo. The rest of them kind of go to town on you. I almost feel like he should have just gone for the straightaway tank build, like just go for a BKB because you can't even step forward anymore. Like the Meepo gets on top of you so quickly, and your supports just don't have the levels. Like the Earthshaker's still only level 5 at 21 minutes into the game, and this is just a product of him having to defend towers and them never being able to take a successful fight. Like he's 0-3-2 right now, hasn't really had a lot to do this game, and Monkey Business, they can either just go for another push, you can go for the Roshan and then straight away go for it again.
They're coming for a kill. They're actually coming down for Jirax. He shows himself on the lane. And they're in range. Miracle comes in front, the Earthbinds will connect. And that's a very dead Earthshaker. If he had any dream of ever getting to a Blink Dagger, it's kind of gone. Because Monkeys are coming in for the GG push now.
That Flame Guard into double Ion Shield Meepos is actually so much sustained damage. Nobody can really survive against that anymore.
Yeah.
Monkey, I mean, this game is kind of wrapped up. What Liquid are probably doing right now, when you take this time, is thinking about the next game, kind of figuring out what went wrong in this one, and trying to develop a game plan for game number 2. Just because this Meepo pick absolutely wrecked them.
Yeah. It really did. Like the combination as well. Like you're not really going to ban out a Meepo. Yeah, you know No Tail is good at it, but you're not going to say, you know, let's take this guy out in the 3rd and 4th position because you're never really expecting this. The Ember Spirit maybe, the Darkseer is high on a lot of people's ban lists, so I doubt Monkeys will get anywhere near the same combo again in another game. But what a time to do it. Like this is a 1-game advantage pushing you through into the winners bracket final for a major, and is always going to dictate now how people draft against Monkeys.
Oh no, so Fada does get the BKB, especially after that last engagement, but it doesn't even matter, he just dies.
GG. That was like their last hope that Fada would be able to do something. Look at mind control as well. Oh my. What a one-sided game for Monkeys. It just worked perfectly for them, and it actually felt like Liquid had a moment, like when they got that fissure rotation to bottom lane, you catch out the complete off lane, but Meepo doing Meepo things and Darkseer being an enabler.
Yeah, for me this was just a straight draft loss. Like this is what Meepo can do to you. A lot of people kind of look at the hero as just a pub stomper, but for me he kind of reminds me of like Storm in the sense that